I knew the way I grew up wasn't normal. Like my dad wasn't there. My mom was like abusive. I would see a lot of like people with guns in my house, like crazy things, like
You're
drugs.
so happy for how you talk about your background.
So I was so desperate to get out. It was almost like do or die. Like if I don't make it, my life is gonna be. I lost a lot of friends because they think it's like cringe, or they're very like academically trained and like they take it very serious. I'm sure you got some real estate agents judging you.
Oh, dude, people hate me.
They're not of the times.
Do you think you could teach us to draw?
No.
Do you could teach us right now? Can we get paper and a pen?
We could try, but.
Sir.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, take care.
Are you going back to California?
Oh, I wish. No. Greenpoint.
Okay. It's basically the same.
Pretty much. They all look the same.
Where's this guy?
He's running really late, is what he said.
Damn.
Okay. Let's do it.
The bad boy of TikTok.
That's funny. I'm the good boy of TikTok.
All right. So today I've got my co-host.
Oh,
Wait. No. Hold on. Well, if he was sitting here, it'd be like here. Can we virtually like impose him?
CGI.
There, like we'll CGI him here.
Using AI.
Andy's currently in appointments, and clearly he's running a little bit late. But we're gonna get started because I have never been more excited to do this pod. I think, Adrian, you agree?
I agree. This is a good one.
Yeah, this is awesome. Today's guest is the most followed visual artist in the world. In the world. He's got 50 million followers. 50 million. And he's a Bronx native. He's inspiring artists and creators on every continent with both his artistic work, the content, everything he does. He's drawn everyone from Ed Sheeran to the president. President Biden recently landed on the Forbes 30 under 30 list for social media. He has a huge exhibit on September 6th in New York City that everyone needs to see. Devon Rodriguez, the man, the myth, the legend, the bad boy, the good boy, the artistic boy of TikTok. Welcome to the business of influence. Woo-hoo! Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for having me.
Devon.
Devon.
Wait, hold on. Let me do that one more time. Sorry. Devon Rodriguez, welcome to the business of influence. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Ryan.
All right. Dude, thanks for coming on.
Of course. Thank you so much.
How'd you start? Like, how did you get to where you are? Like, how did this all happen?
So I was always into art. I always drew people, and I always did people on the subway. And then during the pandemic in August, I was like, I have to get into this TikTok thing because everybody's going viral, all niches. And I was like, I gotta, do art. And then I was looking through TikTok, and all the art stuff that I saw was like kind of cringy. And I was like, I gotta come up with like a original format that's not that. Anyway, so I tried so many things for a month. After a month, I got this idea where I'm gonna draw people and hand them the drawing, and then first one was like 5 million, and I was like, once I got that one, if I do the second one and it's viral, then it's rinse and repeat, and like it's going to the moon, hopefully. And then I did the second one, it got 21 million, and I knew like it was just a matter of time. It's just keep doing it. And then after 2 weeks, it was at 1 million, and I was like knocking on my grandma's door. I lived in the Bronx with my grandma, and I'm like, Grandma, life is changing. Like, trust me, just wait like a couple months. It's just a matter of time. Like, pure math is gonna go there.
Dude, like that,
Crazy.
Your story's crazy, dude. And I'd love to even go like further back from that, dude. Because I read that you got into it a little bit by like getting into graffiti a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, like high school. Like you went to a regular high school and then try to get into
an art high school, yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I was always into art ever since I was a kid. I grew up in the South Bronx, so I used to like walk the streets with my mom, and then I used to always be looking at the graffiti like, Mom, can you read that? And she's like, no, I don't know what that is, but I always knew what it said. I was like, oh, I love the colors, and I was just always into art. So
Hold on 1 second.
We're filming here.
Well, they stopped exactly when I said hold on, so keep going.
So then I was always into art, and my peers in school, I always gravitated to the kids that drew. But the kids in school that drew, I never met a kid that like drew realism or anything like that. Everybody did graffiti. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. So I just started doing graffiti. They would teach me about like the cans, and I would spray paint the walls. And then I got arrested when I was 14. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And then, so I applied for the High School of Art and Design in Midtown. but they wanted like portraits and figures and variety of media, and I didn't even know what that meant at the time. And they wanted 10 pieces, and me in the Bronx, everybody told me like, you're such a great artist. So I'm like, I'm great. I'm gonna do my portfolio last minute. And then I turned it in and I got declined, and then had to go to Samuel Gompers, which was like one of the worst high schools in the Bronx. It got shut down because there was just like, the graduation rate was horrible, like violence, gang stuff. Like the stuff that I saw in that school was crazy.
Like it got shut down?
Yeah, it got shut down, yeah.
Damn.
Like I think 5 schools got shut down that year.
Did you graduate from it or no?
No, so I had a high school art teacher there, and I told him like, yo, I don't want to be here. Like, this is crazy. Like, because it was my zone school. I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like, you know, I grew up in the Bronx, but I always try to like look outside of it and try to succeed in Manhattan. And then he told me like, you can only get accepted into art and design as a 9th grader or a 10th grader. So he helped me rebuild the portfolio. I applied for art and design again, got in, and I came in as a 10th grader. And then from there, I had a chip on my shoulder. So I was very competitive with like all the kids in the school. I was like, oh, like you guys didn't accept me. I'm going to outdo everybody. So I was just like super dedicated.
And that was James Hopper. Is that the
Jeremy Harper? Yeah.
Jeremy Harper.
Yeah.
Right. That was the teacher's name, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. And he's the guy, if I correct me if I'm wrong, he's the guy who was like drawing people on the subway. And that's kind of how you got introduced to that concept.
Yeah. So I was so mad that I was in that school. Like, you know, in the locker room, I would see, so there was cameras all over the school. Even to get inside the school, we had to wait like 30 minutes because everybody was getting metal detected because for weapons and stuff. So I would see kids like slam each other on their necks, like full bloody face. Like they would like really, like that school was insane. So I was so mad to be in that school.
Jesus.
But then the blessing that I had was Jeremy Harper would show me how to draw people on the subway. And this was 2010. That didn't affect me until 2020. And like, I was like, let me use that idea for TikTok. And it went super viral. So I'm glad I didn't get accepted from the beginning because none of this would have ever happened. So
everything happens for a reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Your parents, were they like artistic at all? Like, how did you, like, where did that come from? That like creative bug, I guess.
So my dad was a tattoo artist, but he left when I was like 3 years old. So I never really had a dad, but I guess the gene, I don't know if the gene, because I was always interested in art, whether it was, like when I was 5 years old, I wasn't thinking about an art career. I was just like, I want to draw, and I would draw all day, and that's all I cared about. And so I guess maybe there's a gene, maybe not, because he wasn't there, but no idea.
Are your tattoos your drawings?
Oh no, these are I'm really into like Japanese tattoos, so I just got some. Yeah, I don't know how to draw any of this.
How many tattoos do you have?
Oh, I have like my sleeves, and then I just got these 2, and then I got my whole back. But I think I'm retired from getting. I already have more than enough.
Since I met you, dude, you've got like so many more additions. It's crazy.
Adrian, you should get like a chair tattooed on your neck.
Funny you say that.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do
couch.
that. I heart furniture.
Yeah.
I heart trash. That's the move. So 2020 happens, bro. You're watching Charli D'Amelio do her thing. What was the inkling? Was it just like you saw the success and wanted a piece of it, or were you just like bored and like, let me try this TikTok thing out?
I saw the success and I wanted a huge chunk of it. I was just like,
you seem competitive.
Yeah, I was just like, how the hell are these 16-year-old kids, not anybody in particular, but how are these 16-year-old kids like dancing and making all this money and becoming famous? And I was like, you know what? Once I post my paintings, it's gonna take off. And then I posted it, and it was like 100 views. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta do some research. So I watched like every podcast about the algorithm. I would listen to while I was painting, I would listen to everything. And, you know, we'll talk about having a good hook and like the incentive to like stay on the video and then just watch time, all of that. And so that like inspired me to write out like a format, you know, to like keep people intrigued and somehow make it art digestible for people, because most people don't care about art, you know, so I had to make it about like
relatable.
Relatable, like the shock value of drawing somebody on the spot like that, and like the emotional value of their reaction. Yeah. And then, just to make it like easier for people to consume.
That's pretty crazy that you had that like insight or like that foresight as somebody who's just like an artist and like all you cared about was art, to be able to like look at this and be like, oh, well, there's all these other things that like go into like making a successful video. Or did you? Or is that kind of something you learned during the process of?
I learned it from like doing research, and there was this girl who's my girlfriend now. I won.
Oh.
So my girlfriend now, her name is Sophia Aljabori. She was doing these TikToks of painting people, and she had like 500,000 followers, and she kept telling me like, you need to join TikTok, you need to join.
And your girlfriend on TikTok?
I met her on Instagram, but she inspired, she was like, you have to. So I was like, okay. And then when I saw her views, I was like, okay, it wasn't like that cringe art that I saw. It was like portraits.
So how many pieces of content do you put out now? Like a month, do you think? How do you think about your content schedule?
Yeah, I do like one a day.
One a day?
Yeah. So I do...
You're doing a drawing every day?
Yeah.
Putting it out every day?
Yeah, every single day, yeah.
Across platforms, or TikTok is still your main go-to?
TikTok is like the main one just because that's where it started. But I just like put them everywhere. YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels.
You do a pretty good job too, because like you repurpose content in a really smart way, where it's like you've seen that drawing before, but you package it in a different way, where it's like maybe there's a handful of people that are like have interesting reactions. You're like, oh, here are my favorite reactions.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's really smart. And if anybody's like watching and like, that's how you really maximize content.
Yeah.
You know where I knew what you were doing was crazy? When you put out the video of us.
Yeah.
And someone stopped me on the street and they're like, dude, you're the guy. I'm like, yeah, I'm the realist. Yeah, $1 million listing, real estate guy, whatever. And they're like, that's usually what people say. And they're like, yo, Devon Rodriguez, he drew you. You take the subway? And I was like, hold the phone. That's how you know me? Like, yeah. And then someone else said the same thing. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in my life? People used to know me from another place. Now they know me because I was riding the subway one day and you drew me.
That's
selfishly
crazy.
too. I remember going through your analytics. I remember like you have this like, it's like a slow rise of followers, right? And then out of nowhere, there's just like this massive spike. And we're like, where did that come from? And then we're like, tracked down the date, and it was the day that you put out your video. I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, it was that Bronx kid.
That kid from the Bronx, dude.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that. That's wow.
Yeah, it's wild.
It is crazy.
So how do you make money?
Oh, mostly brand deals, which I didn't even get into it for that. Just one day I get a brand deal and I was like, what the hell? Like,
so someone DMs you and they're like, how much for you to draw a what? Like, what was the first one?
Yeah, how do you integrate it in like your content?
So the first one was Hot Cheetos. They were like, oh, can you draw this the Cheetos guy, like the leopard or whatever that is, and just post it on TikTok and we'll give you 10 grand. And I'm like, in my room, I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even know you were allowed to negotiate, or I didn't even know what. I'm like,
you're like, yes,
I'm like, yes, of course. I drew it like day of and posted it, and I got the money. I was like, what the hell is this? And then the second one was extra gum. They were like, oh, come up with an idea to incorporate extra gum. So I took the gum, I had it on my lap on the subway. I opened it, pulled out the gum, and then drew on the wrapper the person in front of me. And then I put the wrapper back in and was like, oh, here's extra gum. There's a gift inside, and they saw the drawing. So I try to find like creative ways to integrate, like the brand.
So now you do negotiate. Now you're negotiating. Now you have now UTA signed you, right?
Yeah. So now I have UTA. They negotiate. I don't even know how to do that. I'm too
let the professionals do it.
Yeah. I don't even want to deal with that. But then they come to me like, oh, we got this for you, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Sidebar. Have you seen the Hot Cheetos movie?
No.
Dude, it is so good. I wasn't gonna watch it because like this is corny, but like even
is it good?
It was
a Hot Cheetos movie.
It was the idea
about like
of
how Hot Cheetos came about.
Is it
Hulu? Is it Netflix? What is it?
I think it's Hulu.
Okay.
If you haven't watched, it's a little cheesy, but the storyline's great, dude.
Hot Cheetos is
it's cheesy. I was gonna say
what you just said.
Whoa. As a Hispanic kid, you'd appreciate it. You'd really appreciate it. Wow. It was like a little cheesy, but like the story is so fucking interesting, dude.
Damn.
And it's like the story's about like how the CEO was like this time where like Frito-Lay, like they weren't selling a lot of products, like they were laying off a lot of people. And like the CEO would put out this video saying, hey guys, like let's like initiative. It's about initiative. And this factory worker, he was a janitor, saw the video and he's like, well, like I'm noticing they're not like catering to the Hispanic market. Us Hispanics love hot stuff. And so he like would take bags of just like unused Cheetos and he incorporated his like a little hot sauce.
Yeah.
And he cold called the CEO, dude.
That's crazy.
Anyways, watch the movie. It's really good, but as a Hispanic kid, you'd enjoy it.
So you got a Cheetos brand deal too? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm working on it, but if you want to slide me that connect, bro, I'll take it, dude.
That was a whole plug right there.
That was a whole plug, dude. Use Adrian 22 and no, I'm just kidding.
So then you're drawing, right? You're drawing, you're out there, you got a brand deal or two, and then all of a sudden you're drawing celebrity after celebrity after celebrity.
Yeah.
So how did that start happening?
Just randomly, I would get emails like, "Hey, we're doing a campaign for this guy's music. Would you like to draw him on this?" And I'm like, "What the hell? Like, they would even get on the subway?" Like, I don't know, just ran like Ed Sheeran, for example. I'm like, wow, he really, or Jared Leto, they'll join in on me on the subway, and I'm just like, wow, it's like it got to that level, like just by posting every single day. Like, I just had one idea. I had one idea, and it still like feeds my everyday.
What was the one celebrity that you're like, no fucking way, this is like happening, this is real life?
Probably Joe Biden.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, probably Joe Biden if he's a celebrity.
Obviously, Ryan was the answer.
How does you drawing Joe Biden happen? Who reached out to you from the White House? Like, is it an email? Is it like Joe Biden didn't just slip into your DMs?
You get that email. It's like at whitehouse.gov.
No, I just got a text. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, this is Joe. That's crazy.
So my agency, UTA, shout out to them. They
he has this bit where a water bottle just comes out of nowhere.
Oh,
Don't
nice.
worry about it.
So yeah, they were like, "Oh, we have a collab for you, but like the deal is not fully settled, so we don't want to get you excited, and we'll let you know when it's like more finalized."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I didn't really care because at that point I already did like 30 celebrities, and I was like, all right, whoever it is, whatever, let me know." And then like a month later, he calls me and he's like, "Hey, so are you busy Saturday? Because we got the collab. You're gonna do a TikTok with President Joe Biden." And I was like, "Wait, who? What? Joe Biden? Like, that's crazy." He was like, "Are you free Saturday?" I'm like, "Of course I am. I'll cancel anything. Like, of course." And then so they flew me out to this rally in Florida, and then yeah, we got to meet, and yeah, he was so nice, and had to go through all this Secret Service, and yeah, it was
just a Puerto Rican kid from the Bronx.
Yep, it was hectic. It was, yeah.
Dude, what was plan A? Because when you were in high school, no way that TikTok was plan A.
Yeah, no,
Well,
it didn't exist. Yeah.
So what were you gonna do? Just be
yeah.
an artist, sell your stuff on, and try to get in galleries.
Yeah.
Find an art dealer. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to college for a year. I went to FIT, and then I didn't really like it. And at that point, I was already getting a few like DMs on Instagram, like, "Oh, can you do my portrait?" So I would charge people like, at that point, I was like charging like 1,000 or 2,000, and I was living with my grandma, so I really didn't have expenses. So I was like, "Fuck college, I'm dropping out. I'm gonna stick to the DMs. I'm just gonna be a social media artist." And at that point, I would go to like the Chelsea galleries, like the openings, and I stopped going because I didn't feel like I fit in. Like, it's all these like intellectuals like with their wine, like, and I was like, this is not for me. Like, fuck this world. Like, I just felt so uncomfortable, and I didn't see any like realism portraiture. Like, it wasn't like a thing. Like, most of the things that were like popular was like abstract or conceptual art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just felt too stupid for that. Like, they would look at it and come up with all these meanings, and I was like, this is not me. Like, I'm just gonna stick to social media. So I just stuck to social media, and then that I dropped out 2016, and then yeah, it didn't work out till 2020. But I was just like doing portrait commissions here and there, and I didn't have any expenses. I was living with my grandma, so
people just hit you up and say like, "Hey, can you paint me?" Or like, how is that literally how it went down?
yeah, I did get lucky a few times where like I got into the New York Times and in the New Yorker. Like, this is like way before TikTok. They just loved my story of being like a Bronx kid doing these subway paintings, and so those articles would get me like all these bougie clients, and then they would like recommend me to their bougie friends. So that just kept me going. And I was like, and even before TikTok, I was like in like visiting mansions where like they had like elevators in the homes, and like, oh, like do my portrait. I never even seen that before. So I had
awesome.
Yeah, I had a bit of stuff before that, and it kept me going. If not, I would have had to get like it's crazy. I never had a job in my life. And people think it sounds like I'm so privileged.
You skipped the job and went right to the career, right to the brand, really.
Yeah.
You manifested that shit, dude. It's crazy too, because I was watching you did an interview with somebody. I think it was Katie Couric, actually. And you were talking about this idea of the starving artist, that you didn't realize like that was a thing.
Yeah.
When I was little, I told my mom I wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
And she had made a comment saying there's no money in art. Like,
yeah.
And that really discouraged me. I'm like, oh, well, like, I guess if there's no money, then like what, you know what I mean? Like how would I get by?
Yeah.
You made a comment. You're like, I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, I had no idea until I went to art and design high school, and then I was just doing art like in the Bronx, and with my family. If you do any job, you're like doing amazing. Like if you work at McDonald's, it's like, oh, Devon's hustling. Like Devon's really like going after it instead of like trying to sell drugs or doing some shady thing. Like so nobody told me about starving artists. I thought artists were rich. Like I was just ignorant. And then I went to art and design high school. And then after like senior year, all my friends were telling me like, oh, my parents didn't want me to be an artist. Same reason. And I was like, what? Yeah. Like, but I was already too deep in it. Like I'm already 4 years into doing this all you portraiture. And I was like, whatever. Like that's them. That's not going to be me. Like I was like delusional, but I guess it worked out at the end.
Do you ever get like tired of painting faces and drawing faces? Because you have like artist burnout. And if you look at, if you look at like the classics, like, Picasso, Monet, Basquiat, like they go through their phases because you do something, you kind of get like artistically burnt out, and then they start going into the next phase of their artist career. Like, do you think what is Devon 2.0? Like, if this is Devon 1.0 and it's built this massive, massive platform in a way that no other artist out there that we know of is doing, like, I'm just excited to see like what happens next.
Like, not to cut you off, but to just elaborate on that, like, who are the modern, like, Picassos and, like, the Da Vinci? Like, I would categorize you as one of those guys. I'm curious to see, like, 100 years from now, dude, like, the same way we talk about the Picassos and, like, are you part of that conversation? Like, that's exciting to me.
That would be crazy.
That's, like, legacy artists right there.
I hope so.
But all those guys, man, they all start on the street and they're painting, and then people like it, and then slowly they get a studio and then they paint a little more.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so that's what I'm saying. Like 2.0,
right.
3.0, like what's Devon 10.0?
Right.
Like in 10 years. Like we're not going to be able to get you on this couch. You know what I mean? Your fucking 19 agents are going to be like, it's $500,000 to get him to come to New York. He lives on Mars now. He drew Elon's face and got a free ride, and he's off planet, bro.
Well, you got a piece. You got his drawing of you, dude. Save it. That'll be
it's cool upstairs in my office.
That's what I'm saying. That's a cool $2 million.
It's all people care about in my office.
Crazy,
dude. One of the originals. We've sold apartments that have like, I sold an apartment for $10 million in Tribeca once, and you were not allowed to touch this one piece of the wall because the building used to be a school, and Keith Haring did his drawings in there, and like it's there forever. Like no one's ever going to touch it. Yeah, it's on Lower 6th on it's 260 West Broadway, and it's pretty famous. And so like when you buy that apartment, it comes with it, and it's too because he would go like in the fucking crevices. So it's not like a Banksy where you can maybe cut out the concrete. Like you wouldn't be able to remove this corner. It would just you could, but like you wouldn't. Yeah. And so it's really just interesting to kind of like watch his art kind of progresses and kind of where you go from here. But yeah, going back to my original question before Adrian cut me off.
Sorry. Got excited.
Do you think you'll ever get burnt out from doing face? I mean, or face is just so different? Or are you going to start switching it up?
Since the formula just keeps working, I'm an artist, but I'm also like a marketer. So I don't get tired of it. I don't get tired of getting millions of views.
I get it.
Not to sound cocky, but the next phase.
Welcome. You're in the right spot, man.
We're in the right place.
You're in the right spot. Yeah, I still show houses.
But the next phase is so UTA has an art department, and they have my art agent, his name is Arthur Lewis. He has like big tie. He's a big art collector. He has big ties in the art world. So I wanted to jump back in because the art world is like very gate kept. And I would say Arthur's like part of like the gatekeepers, and he's like, yo, you got to do this show. And I'm like, hell yeah, finally I'm back in. So I was doing just the drawings for 2 years straight, and like I just didn't paint at all.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Let me jump back into painting like on these big canvases, and they take a long time to do. And anyway, so it's been a year, and I finally finished all the paintings. It's 12 paintings.
And that's going to be in the show on September 6th.
Yeah.
Where is it, and what is it, and can people come?
Yeah, it's 540 West 28th Street at 6 to 9 p.m. September 6th. Come through. I want everybody to be there. I want it to be like so packed out.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Mikey, can you put it in our calendars, please?
There it is.
Because that's right next. Because that's in
Chelsea.
Zaha. I mean, that's downstairs.
Yeah.
So it's we sell in that building, and so
that's
we'll be
crazy.
there.
Wow.
Crazy. But I think that's like how you prevent the burnouts by doing the different thing. Because you're doing like just the quick, not quick, but like you do like the Instagram
it's
art.
pretty quick compared to.
And then you have like the pivot to like the more higher end, slower, sexier, elevated stuff.
Yeah, that's why I don't get like burnt out, because I was so used to doing like 8-hour. I know you probably work 24 hours, but I was doing like 8-hour painting days where I would just paint every day, like mixing, and like I wasn't getting much from it. But then doing these little sketches that are super fast, it's like easy work. Like I'm doing easier work for way more money. So it's not like the artists that I came up with, they would like laugh if I told them I got burnt out. Like they were like, "You're doing little sketches, like, you know."
Yeah.
How long does it take you to do one face?
Like an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then I do 2 videos from each face. So I have like an angle of somebody filming me, and if that doesn't go viral, then I have the angle of me on my phone handing it over. And sometimes they both go viral, and sometimes one of them doesn't work, but the other one does.
Yeah.
So I try to like make sure I get something out of each one.
Do you ride the subway like normally without a sketchbook in your hand? And do people come up to you and they're like, does anyone ever sit across from you just sort of waiting?
Yeah.
Like, do they recognize you? No.
Yeah. I kind of stopped just because people like always like, "Yo, can you draw me?" Like I'm like, "Oh, I don't have my sketchbook on me." Or like, even if I do have it, I'm like, "Oh, I'm kind of getting off next stop. I'm sorry." So yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that too, dude, because you had like, there was V1 Devon where you never showed, like we never saw you. You were just like the guy drawing, and like that was it.
Yeah.
And then recently, maybe within like the last 5-6 months, then we saw you. Then you were like a character, like in your own videos, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So I didn't put myself in my video. I was at like 16 million followers with people only knowing my hand, like nobody. So I would hang out with these other TikTokers that had like 1 million, and like they would get stopped everywhere. And I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." So that's technically me, but nobody knows me.
Yeah.
And I
You're
was
like Batman, bro.
Yeah. And I was like, "That's insane." And I was like, "I want to
put your hand out."
I was like,
He's walking around like this. He's like,
I was like, I want to be this artist that people recognize. Like, you know, back in the 80s, people probably recognize like Andy Warhol walking the streets, or like Basquiat. And like that doesn't exist now. So I was like, I could be that if I include myself in the videos. But I thought that the only format that would work would be me like handing it over. So I was like, let me just try it. So I wrote out like this format, like 2 seconds showing me, then 2 seconds showing the subject, then 2 seconds showing the beginning sketch. And then I hired somebody to film all that. And then the first one got like 20 million views. And I was like, oh shit, I could be famous for me and not just my drawings. Like, that's crazy. And then I started doing that. And then like a week after, I started getting recognized on the street. Like, and I was like, damn, that's so magical. Like, you know, even on my way here, like people are like, "Oh, I love your work, man." Like people that aren't even into art, just random people. And yeah, that was something that really impressed my agent, because he's like, "Devon, I hang out with artists every day that sell their work for 500K, 600K, and nobody knows them. And you just get recognized." Like, he was like, "I've never seen that before. Like, I want to take you to the moon." In the
I think the tattoos on the neck are smart for you, right? Because they're clear and they're bright, right? And so they're it's very like there's strong
loud.
brand awareness.
Yeah.
Like in a way, it's when, you know, because I earlier on in my career, like once $1 Million Listing started and things, you know, and I would, before my wife and stuff, and people would say like, "Dude, you have like really gray hair. You should dye your hair." I'm like, this is how people know me. People recognize me when I'm walking away from them.
Yeah.
They recognize the back of my head.
Yeah.
Does anyone know you by the back of your head? And then I play into it. I'm like, no, I will never dye my hair. I'll never get business again.
Yeah.
Right. So it's in a way, right? You've got to have that one brand moniker. So whether it's, you know, the neck tattoo or the gray hair, or Adrian takes a shower once a month, like whatever it is.
Twice a month now.
Whatever it is, whatever it is, it goes a long way, because you have to be memorable, right, in those moments, and it helps you generate more and more business.
Dude, there were moments where like in the elevator in my building, maybe like 6 months ago, this guy kept looking at me, and then he would look at his phone, and he would look at me, and then he would like be typing, and then after like a minute, he was like, "Hey, are you Devon Rodriguez?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I couldn't tell." He's like, "I've been following you for 2 years on Facebook, and I love your work, but I wasn't sure you look like him." He was like, "I only knew because of the tattoos, and he was a Hispanic guy, and he was like, you just look like any Hispanic person, and good thing you have sleeves because that's how I knew you." So then, so in the summertime, I would get recognized way more than the wintertime because I'm not showing my tattoos.
You don't
So
have
I
a
was-
jacket on.
Yeah, so I was like, let me get some like I'm not gonna get face tattoos, but I'm gonna get some neck tats. And I did all this research on something that I would actually like, and yeah, so that's actually part of it. I mean, people don't know that.
Dude, you're a marketer. You showed up with a shirt that says September 6th for the event that you just decided to do.
Yes.
Like we don't even do that. I don't know. Where's my business of influence merch? I don't even. There's no fucking.
Mikey, let's get some merch
God
going.
damn it! We don't even say, he's brave. He got tattoos. Where's the boy tattoo on your neck?
Dude, I know.
It's a commitment.
I know,
it's
right?
a commitment. Like
But-
people judge me, but they don't know like it's part. I mean, I genuinely love them, but like it's also part of my. I mean, I see you do it all, like with the blue and always branding everything, like your car, right? You have
Yes.
like
Yeah.
So yeah.
I
Yeah,
think it's-
slightly less permanent. The blue car.
we were talking about it too. He's like, I'm always wearing this shirt. I'm like, that's so smart. It's like, it's the same way why we never see Logan Paul without a Prime bottle in his hand anymore. It's just like, it's always in your
ABB,
face.
man. Always be branded. You always got to remind everybody because there's so much noise,
Yeah.
which is so cool about what you've been able to do. So what's the craziest thing in your mind when you think back to Devon 2019 and Devon 2023?
Just everything. Like if you see the environment that I grew up in, it's insane. Like I sometimes I'm just like, damn, what's next? Because I never thought that any of this would happen even by the age of like 80. So, when people ask me like, what's my next 5-year plan? I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I'm still hustling, but whatever happens, happens. I'm going to be appreciative of everything because, this is like such an unrealistic thing to happen to somebody that,
How did you learn, I feel like there's a lot of talented people out there, right? Like I remember when I was a little kid, and this is like a core memory in my head. I must have been 9, in the car, and this is before my grandfather died, and so like taking him back to the nursing home. And I think I've told you this before, but like pointing at a cemetery,
Yeah.
and my grandfather was kind of a jokester and asking me like, do you know who's in there
yeah.
in the cemetery? I'm like, I don't know, Teddy Roosevelt. I don't know, like Grandpa, like who's it going to be? What are you going to say that's going to be funny? And he was like, a musician you'll never hear of,
Yeah.
right? A mathematician you'll never know. And he started listening, and I don't think it's set in for me at the time, but it's definitely stuck with me from then because there's tons of talent in the world, but no one knows how to get it out there, And so now we have these platforms where we can get talent out there. You set yourself free.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
with the story that you told us, your backstory is insane. You set yourself free with talent, but then you have that marketing gene,
Yeah.
right? And then you sprinkle on a competitive edge
Yeah.
because you want it,
Yeah.
right? And it seems like that's formula, right? So how do you think, like if I'm in the Bronx right now
Mhm.
and I'm 14 years old and I hate my school, how do I take a talent, or how do I even find my talent and try to do even one fraction of what you've been able to do? So I don't have to wait on anyone else to give me my ticket out of here.
Yeah, I think you just have to really want it. Like that's all I wanted and cared about, and like getting attention. I tried so many different things over the years, and I was just trying everything because I wanted it so bad. And I think maybe part of it is like
That's big though, like trying
It's
nonstop.
trying everything.
Yeah.
Trying everything until one thing sticks.
Being
Yeah.
relentless a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Like as a kid, I always felt this like weird. Like I knew the way I grew up wasn't normal. Like my dad wasn't there. My mom was like abusive, and like I watched people, I would see a lot of like people with guns in my house, like crazy things, like
You are
drugs.
so happy for how you talk about your background.
It's crazy. Like one time, this lady comes, one of my mom's friends comes over, and she starts shooting up heroin next to me on the couch. Right?
How old are you?
um, like 12. And so let's say Adrian's here. She's doing heroin and she's like wrapping it up and like smacking her arm and doing all this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm looking at it because I can't look away. And things like that was so normal to me. And things like that, when I used to watch the TV and I used to see like That's So Raven and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, I used to think like that's a normal life. Like that's what I want. Like that's what I was aiming for, but I never seen that in real life. And so I was so desperate to get out. And when I finally got to Art and Design High School, I swear that was the first time. That was the first time I met a white person that was a peer. Like, and I was like mind blown because
That was your same age.
Yeah, because the only white people I ever met was like either teachers or police officers.
Crazy.
If you were a white person walking through the Bronx, they'll be like, yo, policia, like watch out, like hide the drugs, or like, you know, like you don't see that. So when I was sitting next to this white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes, I was like, I remember telling my brother like, yo, bro, I feel like I'm on Disney Channel. There was this white girl, like, like, what the fuck? Like, how am I in this environment? Like, I was mind blown. And then she spoke to me, and I remember thinking like, I'm worthy? Like, I swear to God, I swear, I know
That's
that sounds,
so
I know that sounds crazy.
That's wild, dude.
And
That's
so
super sad though.
I know.
You know?
And so I think, but that gave me like this desperate need for attention. Like, I'm just going to try everything. And like, yeah, cause it was almost like do or die. Like if I don't make it, my life is going to be fucked. But yeah.
Yeah, I think there's also something to be said about your back literally up against a wall.
Yeah.
So trying absolutely everything you can.
Yeah.
And then having the willingness and the ability to go out and do art and to try again to get into art and design high school. And then like hats off to having a great teacher that believed in you, that really helped you, because a lot of kids then don't have that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I think I had a lot of luck because even though I like work hard, I had a lot of luck in terms of like, you know, I had family members or friends, like they'll see adults, you know, selling drugs and they'll be like, oh, that's all I know. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know how, but I always grew up with this like natural, like there'll be 10 people around me. They're all doing that. And I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to follow the person on the TV not doing that. Like, I don't even know where that came from. And it was like a natural thing since I was a kid. So that was lucky. And then having a passion that I was born with was lucky. And then having the teacher, then having the drive and all that was like, it was innate.
But I think if there's like a secret sauce, I think it's that. I think it's like, I think we all have a little bit of a passion for something, but you're like, I'm just going to do this thing and not stop.
Yeah.
And so like, that was like, let me just try everything. And I think you really can't fail if you don't stop. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what got you here, dude.
Do you and your girlfriend draw each other?
No, not yet.
Like
not
Saturday
yet.
nights, you don't sit there and you're just like Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet in Titanic, just drawing each other. As like no, you don't do that.
Not yet. Maybe we should.
You should do. Can you do that? And then you should make a video of it. That would be awesome.
That would be interesting, dude. Who were like some people that you like? Were you like a guy that was just like into different artists, or was there like who was like your inspiration growing up?
My inspirations were like my teachers. Like Jeremy. It's crazy because the subject matter of drawing and painting people on the subway is not that common. So my first teacher from Gompers showed me how to draw people on the subway, and then my second art teacher at Art and Design would do paintings of people on the subway.
Interesting.
Which is just a huge coincidence. But anyway, so the second teacher, I remember walking into his classroom and he was just painting a student, like a student's just sitting here and then he's like painting, and then it was like perfectly realistic. And I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I can't believe somebody could do that. Like, I never seen that. And then after years of doing it, I figured out that like you need to market yourself. Cause then I started going to like these academies, like the Art Students League is on 57th and 7th.
Yeah.
And they have the most amazing artists like ever. Just every day, like there'll be a nude model and they'll be painting the most perfect. And so I spent years like studying that craft and perfecting it. And then when I got to that point where I felt like I was good enough, I was like,
how to get the world to see.
Yeah, I've realized the starving artist thing. Like, damn, these are some of the most, in my eyes, some of the most world-class artists. And, you know, some of them will be like waiters or taxi drivers to like make ends meet. And I was just like, damn, like that's not what I want. So
Yeah.
so I just started studying like the stuff on the internet, and then those artists, they do not take it serious. Like I lost a lot of friends because they think it's like cringe, or
Yeah.
they're very like academically trained, and like they take
Sure.
it very serious. Like it's like being an academically trained violinist and then doing some like cringe gimmick that they think it's like a gimmick. So, but I was just like, I don't really care. Like,
Yeah.
they criticized me, but it was never like I was getting verbally abused in the Bronx. Like nothing they could say is ever gonna stop me. Like whatever, you want to leave.
No, man, you got to get yours 100%.
I think
Yeah.
it's really smart, dude. I think because if you look at that approach, Justin Bieber did the same thing, dude. Think
Yeah.
about it. This kid got famous because he was singing Michael Jackson covers, not even his original music.
That's
But it was something that everybody was already familiar with.
Yeah.
It was like relatable. And then like Scooter Braun finds him, and then Scooter, introduced him to Usher, and then now we know him as Justin Bieber, and he's putting out original music.
Yeah.
Like you found a thing that's like relatable. You could speak any language on the planet, see that, and just be visually interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So already you have a global audience,
Yeah.
and it's just regular people. So there's that relatability.
Yeah.
I think your format is so smart, and I think that's another reason why you're successful. It's because you found that like, yeah, you're like classically trained friends would think it's cringe or whatever.
Yeah.
But you found a way to bridge the gap with the entire world, and now you have this audience, and now you can introduce art that you're going to be introducing in September 16th. So like I think
September 6th.
September 6th. Sorry,
It's on his
September
damn
6th. September
shirts.
6th. September 6th. So I
Thank you,
think
Ryan.
if there's any advice to like people who are like, classically trained in something, I think there's something to be said to like put the ego away a little bit.
Yes.
Find a way to bridge that gap to like an audience, earn that trust with the audience, and then introduce the thing you're classically trained in.
Yeah, some people are way too close-minded when it comes to like marketing. I'm sure you got some real estate agents judging you, thinking that you're like some marketing like cringe,
Oh,
but
dude, people hate me.
they're not of the times. They're set back 100 years or something.
My whole life, my whole career, right? Like it's the amount of hate that's partly fueled by jealousy, partly fueled by a fear of change
Yep.
is
Exactly.
palpable. It is real. Even to this day, even the way we started this company and like the agents that work here and the way we do this business, the amount of real estate agents out there that are so hateful and the amount of other brokerage companies that are so angry and just so mean. Like I've never mean to any agent or any other company like in my life, unless they've been mean back to us. Like I will
Yeah.
protect us at all costs. But
Yeah.
like if someone out there is going to go sell tons of real estate because they're dancing butt naked and it works, all the power to you.
Yeah.
Wish
Yeah.
I had thought of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Like,
go for it.
it's crazy. People probably want to buy from you because you're on TV. That's genius. And then some people, and then you probably have real estate agents criticizing you, like, oh, he's a TV agent. They say, oh, he's a social media artist, but they just are not smart.
But you also have to find. Listen, you have to find your own path, right? Like, you can never fault anyone for making a living. And if
Yeah.
you're able to use the tools that we have these days to create and carve your own path, then it's don't hate the player, hate the game.
Dude, and that's the thing too. It's like it's weird or it's cringy until it's not.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I probably changed a lot of minds. Come on, if I'm meeting with Joe Biden, there's nothing you could say. There's nothing you could say. Like they probably changed their minds. Like, oh, maybe we are
Yeah.
dumb. Maybe we should do this.
Do you think you could teach us to draw?
Have
you ever taught anybody?
It takes years.
Do you think you could teach us right now?
Uh,
Like drawing like
We
a
could
line? Can we get paper and a pen?
we could try, but
I want to see who's a better drawer, me or Adrian, and we're gonna draw your face.
Oh, bro, I get down, bro. I get
Do
down.
you?
Oh, I get down. That could be a fun exercise. I'm actually
All right,
down.
Mikey's gonna help us find one. Since
much-
we have you here.
Yeah. How much time do you have? It's 6:00.
Yes. I can go till 6:10.
Okay. Real quick. You released a masterclass thing. How was that?
oh,
And so UTA just brought you that deal too?
well, they negotiated, but Masterclass like emailed me randomly, and they were like, "Oh, we want you to teach a masterclass," and I was like, "What?" Because they have like,
So you did teach people how to draw.
yeah, it was how to paint. I did it for like it was a 3-day shoot, and I'm not really into teaching, but I was like, Masterclass, they have Serena Williams teaching tennis. They have like,
All
Did
the
they help you
experts.
put together like the lesson plan and what you were gonna
Yeah.
say? Was it did they help you write a script and all that?
Yeah, they basically like did everything, and we would have meetings every week, and they would say, "Oh, is this how you do it?" And yeah, and then I would like edit some things, but
It was a production, right?
yeah, it was a huge production. I did not expect to show up and see 40 people on set, and then all these cameras on me. Like it was something I've never. And also, when I talk about painting, I mean, when I paint, I have these ideas in my mind, but I don't talk about painting. So I just felt so like cringe when I'm like, oh yeah, you mixed the alizarin crimson with the cameo. I'm like, damn, who am I? Like, who have I become? Like, I just don't really talk about that.
How does a deal like that work? They pay you up front and it's a fee for the work. Do they give you a percentage of subscription fees?
Yeah, it was like a one lump sum up front and then like a percentage of whatever sales I get to them from like my own link.
What's the biggest brand deal you've done? You don't have to tell us the number, but just like
biggest brand deal.
We were like,
I think like Coca-Cola. Yeah. I just had to draw people while I'm holding a Coke in my hand, Coke Zero, and then I'm just drawing, but I'm like drinking as I'm drawing, you know, that one.
That was the biggest one? Dude, I could show apartments with a Coke Zero.
I know,
like
right?
Walking through, someone, God damn it.
Dude, I think if the MTA was smart, they would do something with you.
Yeah.
I don't like, it just makes the most sense. You're like the MTA guy.
I know, right? I wonder if ridership went up. Because sometimes people...
You should reach out to, you should have UTA, reach out to MTA and say, you know, we want to make riding the subway fun and safe again, especially in New York, right? And they should do a campaign with you. You should 100% have UTA do that.
We were working on a deal where my art was going to be on the back of Metro cards, but then it fell through because we're so close to being, to Metro cards just being extinct, so...
Because everything's just on the phone and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. How
All
do
right,
you
so
want
you're
to
going to teach us. So this is Mikey.
Oh, impromptu.
All right. So you're going to teach us how to draw. How do I draw a face?
Okay. So
we're going to draw your face. Hold on. I'm just imagining a magical face.
Oh, so you're going and drawing a big old circle.
So you're drawing a circle first.
Start off with a circle.
Well, it looks more like an oval.
Oh yeah, oval. Sorry.
Okay.
They didn't teach me that.
Artist, bro. Come on.
Okay.
So from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin, the eyes go halfway.
Okay.
And then between that, nose is halfway.
Okay.
Between that, mouth is halfway. So then you're
no cheating, bro.
Well, I mean,
so you're these.
You draw realistic drawings that look like the person.
Yeah.
But there's like a base anatomy.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
okay.
So this base anatomy just really applies to everybody. So then I would really have to be looking at somebody, but I'm drawing this from imagination.
I'm drawing, dude. I'm Leonardo DiCaprioing you right now. I'm like adding the breasts.
Jesus.
All right, I'm gonna try to draw myself.
Wow, you just go, dude.
You're drawing yourself?
Yeah, trying.
You should put in like cool like music right now in the edit, by the way, as you're doing this.
Gabe, throw in some like elevator music or something.
Just take one of the songs from my TikTok. My friends always make fun of me that all my TikTok songs are like sad songs. I'm like, I'm trying to make this deep, bro.
We were just talking about how we're gonna make a sad commercial because like they hit harder and they're just more emotional. I'm already losing, dude.
Yeah, I'm not the best teacher, but something like this.
Wait, no, we have to do it like a showing.
Oh
we have to like do like a reveal.
Sure.
And anyway, so this is like the base structure. Usually you start with the shadows, separate the lights and the shadows.
Of course, obviously.
And then you just build on it. But I would need like a good reference to stare at, but this is just a generic face.
I might literally take your job on TikTok, by the way. I just did this so fast.
I remember you drew me on the train.
That was so bad, dude.
Oh, I did draw you on
It
the
was
train.
embarrassing.
That's right.
Yeah, and then you signed it, so I might sell that.
Did Joe Biden draw you? I don't think so.
No. I should have. That would have been legendary.
I just don't know how you draw someone that then it makes it look like them. Like that's where it's.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, but
like that's I don't know how I would draw Adrian's face. Like I would probably start with all the facial hair, you know, and then do the hair and then do the hat. Okay, you ready, Adrian?
Hold on. Relax there, buddy.
This is it. This is a live art contest with Devon Rodriguez here, the most famous visual artist in the world. I drew him.
I love that title. But yeah, so to draw somebody to have it look like them, you basically have to just copy their shapes. Like if you looked at a photo and you zoomed in and you see all the pixels,
Yeah.
basically have the shades on the right spot. So you draw the outline, get all the shapes correct, and then shade it in to match the light or darkness on every spot of his face. It's basically, that's how like a printer works. So it's basically just like, I don't know how to explain, just copying his face. It takes years to learn, but
It's the shapes and then the shades.
yeah, the shapes and the shades. Once you get, because that's what, when you visually see things, everything is just made up of shapes and shades. So if I look at the camera, it's like a general rectangle. So you would start off with like the big shape.
Do you draw
Then-
other things other than faces?
Yeah. So like faces and people is like the hardest thing to draw. So that's why when you go to art school, they have you draw nudes, because drawing anatomy is like the hardest thing. And then once you could do that and master a figure or a portrait, you could draw anything. Everything else becomes so easy. So
Yeah.
like I could pretty much draw anything, but I'm really into
All right,
like,
so ready?
people.
You ready to show us yours? How
Oh,
far
bro,
did you
I
get?
crushed it. I killed
Oh,
it.
yeah, I didn't really get that far.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Hold on, show the camera. Show the camera. Which
I mean,
camera? Show that one. This one over here.
Oh, okay. This sucks. This is just like some 2
That
minute
kind of looks like you. And you just did it in 2 minutes. All right, Adrian.
Here's mine. It's really not great.
Oh, you did a photo. That's of you? You did
me.
your own?
Oh, we're supposed to draw Devon?
Yeah, you're not supposed to make a selfie. And you signed it?
I signed it. I'm gonna sell this. I'm gonna
Look,
sell this.
I got your tattoos on your neck. Look at that.
Oh,
and
shit.
September
That's not
6th.
bad. Oh, let's go.
Damn.
What's up?
I look like a zombie.
Well, dude, whatever. This is you. If you know something happened to you, and I had to draw a photo
my
of you the next
God.
day.
That's
Okay.
like
I can't sell apartments here.
that looks like if Devon like got into like the drugs.
Okay, fuck
really
you guys.
bad.
Okay,
Let me hide this. I'm not.
Devon,
I'm not proud
you
of
are the
this.
man. Thank you so much for coming on an
Likewise.
episode of
Thank
Business
you.
of Influence.
Thank you.
Thanks
This
for
was
coming
fun.
down to Soho and doing this. We love what you're doing. We love watching you blow up. If there's anything we can ever do for you, and everyone, if you're watching this September 6th, 540 West 28th Street, 6 to 9 p.m., be there, pack it out. It's
Damn,
going to be
you have
insane.
a good memory.
Oh, dude, you don't
Let's
even
go.
know.
Oh, he knows.
Let's
Actually,
go.
I forgot you're the real estate genius.
I do real estate,
That's
dude.
crazy.
That's what we do.
Thanks,
for
bro.
addresses. If you told me, I don't remember anything about your personal life you just said. I totally blacked out for the last hour.
Like,
All right,
how
guys,
am I-
we'll see you later.
Woo!
That was easy. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
We should do the couch thing. Oh, look who decided to show up.
No way.
God.
This is the best podcast we've ever done, bro.